Well, hey there everyone. So this week we're going to be doing something a little bit different, and that's because inspiration has dawned me. So I was browsing TikTok, and I came across this video that showed a 1955 Stratford book purse, and I had to make it. Would not leave my brain. It was the most beautiful thing I've ever seen, so I have to make that today. So I went thrifting and I got some books that I'm gonna gut. So that's why I wanted to thrift them, because I didn't want to spend money, like a lot of money, on books that I'm literally going to destroy. They were all like $3, so that's what I'm gonna do. So the books that I got were The Mammoth Hunters by Jean M. Oh, that's the first one. My mom said she read it, so I picked it up. And then the second one is by the same author, The Valley of Horses. Very hefty book. So the last one that I picked up was The Return of Sherlock Holmes by Sir Arthur Conan Doyle. Boop. So the reason that I picked up these books specifically were because I liked them without the dust jacket. Look how aesthetic these are. Like, I just love the looks of these. And then the sequel or whatever, also written by the same author, has the same vibe. So I liked that. Those two together are pretty cute. And then especially the Sherlock Holmes one, because I loved the look of this one. Like, just look at that to begin with. It's just so pretty. But I loved this without his dust jacket. It's so pretty. And it's all like speckled. Oh, so pretty. So now all those three together make something looking kind of like this. And I liked that vibe together. So here's how this is all going to go. So I'm going to keep Sherlock Holmes intact, because if you look in the picture, it looks like there's like two big books, and those are what open like that. And then there's another smaller book. This is going to be really heavy. This is going to be another smaller book just on the front like that. So this is going to stay intact while these two are going to be gutted. So pretty much my plan is to gut these. So I'm probably just going to cut a good old square and take a box knife and just tear them apart. And then I'm going to line them and then find a way to connect them. And then I'm gonna have to like glue down all the pages so they don't actually open, and whatnot. And then once I do that, then I can just put a strap on. So I don't know how well I'm gonna be able to do all of this, but we are sure going to try. And then this one's probably just gonna get glued straight to the front. So I don't think it's gonna be usable with what I'm thinking, which is why I thrifted all of these, because I'm gonna feel bad enough tearing apart these books without them being thrifted. So that's what I'm kind of thinking. Let's go over to my crafting area and get started, I suppose. All right, we're now at the sewing table. I've located a box cutter. It's very dull, so we'll see how well that works. So now I just need to mark out where I'm going to cut and then start taking these bad boys apart. quickly realized that I should definitely have Mod Podged the pages together first. So I am just going to quickly go ahead and Mod Podge around all of the outside edges of the paper so that they don't come apart while I cut them. So after my box cutter refused to come back up, I ended up having to switch to my X-Acto blade. And this worked a bit better because it was sharper than the box knife, but it was still a pain in the butt. I then quickly gave up and just decided to not work on this anymore that day. Alright, so it's the second day, because I lost quite a lot of my motivation cutting this book. Apparently it's a lot harder to hollow out a book than I thought it was going to be. So I got like this kind of far on one side and then it was a bad cut, so I started on the other side. So I got pretty far on that side. So together I don't have that long to go. But I did find a better box cutter, so that's definitely helping the process. So we're just gonna keep doing this. Yesterday I kind of stopped because I was hoping I could find an easier solution, and I did not. So I'm just going to continue to keep doing this. And here is all of the pages that I have ripped out, and I am going to be using these for another project, so don't you worry, these are not going to waste. So let's just keep hollowing out this book. I still have the entire second one to go, so this is going to be a long day. My wrist is already in pain. My thumb is a little bit bruised from the X-Acto blade yesterday. Just for the process. It's the process. So, yeah, let's keep going. Oh, we are on the topic of books. I just recently, I remembered, rented this cozy fantasy that everybody is talking about on TikTok called The Very Secret... it's a very long line. It's like The Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches, I think it's called. So good. I would much rather be reading that at this current moment rather than hollowing out this second book. This is the curse that keeps cursing. So I think what I'm gonna do with this one is probably not hollow it out all the way, because I don't like the process. It hurts my hand, and the hand brace that we got from Walmart, I opened it just now and it was empty. So that doesn't do me any good. Thank you, Walmart, for that. I will now deal with wrist pain. But yeah, I think I'm just going to hollow out part of this bad boy because it takes a long time. My hand hurts. This hurts my fingies. I'm pretty sure both of my fingers, my thumb and my forefinger, are bruised because of the pressure I have to put like on the blade. I'm doing this the right way, right? No, I'm not. This is why I don't talk and work. What am I doing? Right. because it opens like this. Yeah, no, absolutely. Dingus me. But yeah, so I think I'm only going to hollow out part of this book, and then I'm gonna get on with my life. Whereas I really, really just want to sit and read this book because actually it's very good. Book Talk doesn't lie when they pick out good books, and they did not lie about this cozy fantasy, and I am so happy with it. That's better. So I did indeed proceed to lose motivation that day, shortly after this, and then I continued to read that book, and I did finish it that day. So on to the next day. Okay, so I think I'm at a point where I am done hollowing out books because I really don't feel like it anymore. So I completely finished this one yesterday, and then I worked a little bit on this one today, on the third day. So it's not very deep, but I have a plan for that. So what I'm thinking is that, so they're going to be like this, and then they're going to open like that. So I'm thinking that this can be like the deep actual pocket one, and then this one I could put like little elastic down to like hold like pens or mascara or something. So like more of a shallow pocket to just like hook things in. And then I don't have to do more hollowing out. That's kind of what I'm thinking. So I clearly do need to give this a little bit of love. The corners didn't come out extremely well. So I'm going to see if I can try and like carve some of those corners out, because now I have like, I can get on in there and just like carve. So I'm going to do that, and then once I do that, I'm going to Mod Podge the inside pages and then re-Mod Podge the outside because those got a little torn apart there. And then we can get started on the lining for the pockets. So we're getting closer. Yeah. So let's go ahead and do that. So I did try to carve into these corners with a knife, and that did not work very well, so I decided to try the Dremel, and that actually ended up working better than I thought. So I just Dremeled the corners down as best as I could. So basically what I did for the lining of the books is I took a strip of the satin that I had, and I basically just put Mod Podge on the edges, and then I just pasted the strip of fabric onto the corners. And then what I would do to lay them flat is I would cut the corners that were sticking up and then just lay them flat with Mod Podge underneath to just paste it. And then I trimmed it, and then I did something different for the bottom. So for the bottom to cover up, I took some thick cardboard paper or construction paper and I just vaguely cut out the shape of the bottom in the material, and then I cut the corners, pasted the edges to the back, and then I would just hot glue that little thing of fabric into the bottom, so that hid the edges that were raw at the bottom from doing the edges, and then it was all done, it was all lined. And then do the same process with the other side. The material is a little bit thicker than the thinner side because I have more depth. So it's just paste it around the edges and then cut it, paste it down, and then do the same bottom that I did with the others, except this time I'm not going to be doing the elastic loops, it's just going to be bare. Then for the hinge on the bottom to sit flat, I had to Dremel down the sides of the covers just a bit so it could sit flat-ish, and then I proceeded to use contact cement to glue it down, and then there was still a bit of gaping, so then I did use some hot glue on the inside, and then I had a hinge on this bad boy. The next step is I just put an elastic on either side of the inside so that it could stay where I wanted it to when it opened. After that, I went ahead and I hot glued the Sherlock Holmes book to the side of the books, and I forgot that I needed to Mod Podge the pages closed. So after I glued it, I then Mod Podged the outside of the pages. Then for the strap, I just went ahead and I just glued it straight onto the sides of the books, but I was still having problems with the Sherlock Holmes book opening, so I just took some lace and I put it on the bottom of the two leather straps to basically just keep the straps closed so that the book didn't fly open as soon as I held it. think this turned out fairly well. It is very heavy and not very functional, but it pretty much got the idea across, so I'm okay with that. I think the inside turned out pretty good considering what I had to work with. Yeah, I was a little confused on how to do the strap, so I just kind of slapped it on there and called it good. So it's a little hokey, but it works. But yeah, I think all in all, it pretty much conveys what I wanted it to. It, you know, functions a lot like the other one did. The books are really pretty, so I think it just like aesthetically looks really cute, but I don't think I could actually wear this. For one, leather and hot glue don't generally like to work together, so if I were to like actually wear this, I would have to like contact cement the straps down, which I didn't feel like doing before. So if I were to do that, then I would have to adjust this a bit, but it's still pretty heavy and doesn't like sit comfortably, but you know, it's a book purse, so I don't know what more you'd expect from it. Yeah, it turns out hollowing out a book is way harder than I thought it was going to be. But yeah, like the lining turned out really good. I was a little confused on how I should do that, but it actually ended up working somehow. Yeah, I just put some like hokey Velcro, which is fine. I think the little like slots on the one side look like pretty good. Yeah, I made a book purse. It sounded really weird to a lot of people I told. They're like, you're making a purse of books? And I'm like, yeah. So I think it turned out pretty good. And don't worry, like I said before, I do have a project lined up for those book pages. You're not going to be able to guess what I'm doing with them. So get excited, because I'm excited. If the ideas in my brain come out to like look like what I'm thinking, I'm very excited for what's going to go down. So be excited. Hopefully, maybe don't. I don't know. I always say that. I always say like, oh, I have something big coming up, and then it fails, and so I think I'm just jinxing myself. Forget everything I just said, and we'll be good. So yeah, let me know if you liked this kind of booky craft. I did enjoy the results, not quite the process. So, anywho, if you like what I did, go and like and subscribe. I post most Saturdays, mostly at noon, and I will see you in my next video. Thank you for watching!